Hi, Nicholas here. Today we're going to look at John Thomas Exercise 3. So from my website, Courses, John Thomas Grade 1, Exercise 3. And we're going to make our way. We're just going to look at a bar, a line at a time, so 4 bars on each line. And we're going to not going to be using the notation as a crutch, so we won't be looking and playing. And we certainly won't be using this either as a crutch, the chords and the lyrics, but we'll be using this to work out what we're doing, right? And then we want to get to the point where we've got our song lyrics and chords, and then we're going to be working with the song skeleton, right? And we've got some exercises at the end. So let's just get going. So what key is in? There's no key signature here. So what key are we in? We're in the key of C, right? Because there's no indicators here. So we're going to choose the chords. Now with this piece, I've chosen the chords, right, to be whatever the bass note is. So we don't have any slash chords. But we've got to test to see, you do have options because it's quite ambiguous. You've only got 2 notes, so you could choose possibly another chord. You might have an E minor chord with a slash chord being a C at the bass. So we're going to use a bass note. So that's a C, right? And you know all your chords in the major scale. So that's a D, it's going to be D minor. That's an E, E minor, and that's D. It's D minor, right? So we're just going to work out what the lyrics are doing. So we want to focus on hearing a bass note. So we're going to come down to looking here, right? Now with this, we're not going to use this as a visual crutch, but it gives you all the information. So we've got the first line, the right hand, first line, left hand, right? And we've got the words too now, right? So we can see we've got the chord C. Now with the left hand, on all these, we just got 1, 1, 1, 1, right? So we really don't need the left hand information because we have the chord. So, but for now, we'll keep it here. And we take away that with this here, and we can start to use this as a crutch, right? There's no bass information because we know that the bass is going to be the root of all these chords, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on just the bass note of the chord and not worrying about the detail in the bass. And we'll add that in once we get the song, right, going. Now, one way we can learn our song is through a song skeleton, and it's a very useful tool. The song skeleton will give you the direction of the song. So we're just actually going to start today just looking at the song skeleton, and then we'll work our way backwards, right? So, and then we can work it out here. So once you're familiar with how to find chords, okay, so we've got C here, we've got the third, and then we've got D minor, we've got a minor third, E minor, minor third, and D minor, minor third. So the song is doing, and we're just listening with our ear, right? And then for the second line there, here, it's going, right? Now there's no timing here, right? We're just listening for the melody, the skeleton of the melody, right? So it's just the melody note at the chord change, right? And it's not giving you any direction whether to go up and down because for this chord here, E minor, right? E minor, there's a +5. That's a perfect fifth. Remember the fifth rule? And there's a +5. It could have been this +5 up here, but what you do is you pretend you're the composer, right, too. And because we haven't heard this melody, right, before, so we're not sure where it's going, we can also go, well, what sounds good, you know, like, or, well, that's too high up there. Now, and then you can also tell by the music itself that there's no big jumps in the melody. It's just the notes are just a semitone apart or a tone apart. There's no big jumps, so you don't have to worry about that. Here we got a third jump with the bass, but we're not looking at the bass yet. Right, we'll add the bass in later. Right, so go back to the song skeleton. So we got the 3 there, 6, and now we can look at our hands once we've worked it out. 5, 1, And then the third line is the same. But then we're coming to resolve it, right, to the last line. So it's going to that 6 there, right, which was the same F6 on F6 here. So we've got a hint of that melody there. And then... So we're about coming... You see, it feels like it's going to come home. And then it's... So then it goes to G, F6 again. So we rise up to the G on the 6, 1. So you get a really good feel of the song with a song skeleton with the reduced information, right? So that's will give your ear, you'll train your ear to get in tune with the song and make it much easier to learn. So a lot of the times you can go straight to the song skeleton, and I'm going to have these here, right? But let's just go back up and look at us. We're going to look here now, right? Once we work out what your fingers are doing, okay, with the melody, we can work off either here. If you're not too sure yet of the melody, you work off this so you can see the melody. But you want to get to the point where the melody is now in your head, right? And we work off this. And once we're in this position here, right, we can start concentrating on adding another memory association, which is the lyrics, and we can start working with our vocals. Right? So then we've got running away to the ocean. And can you see that we're not trying to get that timing right of the original piece for a couple of reasons. It's just really awful for a start. It's very quantized. Okay, and we want to work with the melodic rhythm to match the words, right? And there's no way a composer who even wrote a piece like this, of course it's written for beginners, right? But it's not a bad little piece, and you can add things to it too when you're improvising, so you can make it way more interesting than it is on that piece of sheet music, right? So I'll get to this, I'll look at this one here, right? Because I've been listening to this a few times, the melody's in my head there, right? So running away to the ocean is the river. So you want to take it, when you're doing it, when you start to, if you think you can't sing, you need to do this because the Akousunesis method lends itself to training you to sing. Because we concentrate on melodies, you sing melodies, and your ear gets attuned. And if you take it slowly, you find you have muscle memory in your throat. You'll actually come to pitch. You might have to just work out which is more comfortable to sing. But when you're singing, you add harmonics. So you're not singing up one note up there. If I'm singing E, running, I could add a higher frequency, running, or a lower frequency, running away. And it's all got to do with how you open your mouth and let the air in your mouth flow in your inner cavity. But so you can work with that. Now, one way to work with that, you want to go slowly, so you're building the muscles too in your voice. Running away to the ocean is the river. Now, you might want to keep your hands. I like to move my hands around, but for this piece, and if you're doing conservatorium exams, they're going to want you to keep your, play it pretty boringly, I think. Excuse me. Running away to the ocean is the river. Nobody tells him he shouldn't be running away at all. And then, so that's where you want to get to, right? You want to get to the point where the melody's in your head. But before you can get there, you work off this, right? You work off here, just, reading the notes. And you could start to use this as a visual crutch. That's okay. But you want to eventually, once you know the melody, and this is quite an easy melody, you want to get to that point, right? You want to remove the intervals. So they're just there to help you learn the song. Running, and you'll find that if you start singing, right, that will take over the numbers, right? That will become your association, or your memory association, and you'll easily move. If you start singing here in this stage with the numbers, you're going to find that you could remove the numbers so easily when you come to this stage. If you're not singing and you're just doing this, it's going to be a bit harder transition. So even if you think you're crap at singing, you will get better. You'll get better by doing this method. This is also a singing training method as well. Right? Running away to the ocean is the river. Running away to the ocean is the river. I love that. The +5 is such a beautiful interval. So the intervals that lift up a song, right? Your staple intervals, your bread and butter intervals are going to be your threes, right? Your thirds will be your bread and butter. What lifts up a piece is always going to be the +5s, the 6s and the 4s, and also the 7s. We've got a 7 down here, right? So we're with this one here. And they always add interest to your song. The twos are nice, right? When they're lead notes, so when they're in part of the song's skeleton, so they appear at a chord change, they stand out beautiful. And here they're just passing notes, right? We're using them as passing notes, so they're not as exciting, right? So nobody tells him he shouldn't be running. So if you see here, we're on F, running 6, 7, 1, running. And when you're learning it, you can consider each little section here, like each little block here, as its own thing too. So you don't even have to do it in order. So say you have trouble at this part with your fingers, then just practice that part. E minor with a 5, right? River. Or here. Running away at all. So with this, right, you're not too sure of the melody, we use this. Once you get that melody in your head, you want to remove that and go straight to here, okay? And you can always use a song skeleton to start to improvise now. It's an improvisation tool as well, okay? And now, have you noticed that we haven't even been concentrating with what's happening with the left hand? We've just been using, right? We haven't even been thinking about it. But you can see from the sheet music, right? We do want to practice some left-hand patterns, and the left-hand patterns will be here, right? And over here. And then everything else is just the root. So we don't really have to worry about any of this, right? Because it's just the root. But here, if we look at here, the pattern, right? It's just a 1, 2, 3 pattern, right? On the E. So, well, it's not on the E, we're on C here, but we start on the major third. The E here, right? So we're at this bit here. So when we're working that out, if we want to work out the patterns, we can come back to this representation, right? And we have the exact fingers. So on the third bar, so we're 1, 2, we're at the second bar, we want to see what the fingers are doing, right? So we come to the second bar, which is here, which is here. 1, 2, 3, So it's just on the C, it's a 1, 2, 3, right? So, and we have a third with the right hand. So this is giving you all the information of what the intervals are doing. And we want to use this, this is an easy piece of music, right? And we can sort of see that, what it's doing there. But we want to start thinking in intervals. So this is going to help you do that. Now, if you can come here and look at that and go, you want to be able to say 1, 2, 3, right? Be aware of the intervals as well here. But we don't want to see the timing. Right? We want to throw the timing away because that's going to come naturally, right? So with this information, when we see it here, there's no timing, and that's good. That's a good thing because we don't want to concentrate on it. When you're trying to concentrate on getting timing right, that's what slows you down, and that's why most children quit music. Is because they can't quite get the timing, and you've got the teacher there trying to give you a metronome. If a teacher ever gives you a metronome, just get a hammer and just smash that metronome and say, that's bullshit. And toss that friggin' bloody timing out because you want that to appear naturally. And the way to make it to appear naturally is we don't concentrate on getting it right. We concentrate on chords, and we concentrate on melody, on patterns of what the melody's doing, right? And then that melodic flow, you can work with that once you have words too. Once we have the words, we can start working with that melodic flow because you'll find there'll be subtle differences in the way we sing. We might be running, so running away. We might hold the way to the ocean. We might hold the O longer, or just go ocean, running away to the ocean. There's multiple ways you can say that line, right? And you can experiment until you're happy with a certain way, and then you might just play that all the time, right? And eventually, the muscle memory of your throat, the way you sing it, will kick in because you have muscle memory or two in your throat. So if you sing at a certain melodic rhythm, right, your fingers will follow that, right? So that's why the vocals become another memory association. So you want to work together with the vocals. Don't worry if you think you can't sing. You can sing, right? You're not tone deaf. Very rare disorder. If anyone tells you you're tone deaf, it's just crap. It's just that you haven't practiced, right? And it takes a development, sure, because you've got muscle memory in your throat. You develop your muscle memory, you'll be able to sing. So I think I've given you enough information now. So yeah, we'll just go back to those patterns, and you can just practice those patterns with the left hand. They're just patterns, right? And what will help you with your left hand is we come to the exercises now. We'll have a quick look at exercises. I've broken it up into 4 sections of these exercises, and they represent each bar. So the first lot here, bars 1 to 4, the first exercise for each section is just the actual melody with both hands. So the same goes with here, bars 5 to 6. That's just the melody of the song, the actual note, that whole line together. And so then we've got bars 9 to 12. Again, that's the same. And then we've just expanded on that and added some other things, right? So we'll just go here and we'll have a look. So we'll just see this symbol here. We'll just have a look at some symbols. So we've got 2 symbols we're introducing. This symbol here just means you play this line and the next line together with both hands. So that's the right hand and that's the left hand. This symbol here means just play the chord. So we have left pinky 1, middle 3. You're just playing a chord. And this is playing at the same time, this hand and this hand. So with this exercise, we're playing the exercise and holding the chord down. So we'll just start on this one. So we've got right, middle 3. Keeps on going down. There's the reverse direction. So it's, and then it goes up to the 4. And then he jumps up to the 5 and back down to the 4. And it's just the melody, right? And the left hand is just left pinky on 1, right? It's rising to... So So that's just the song, right? The melody. And so the same applies down here. All right, now we're going to expand that and just have a look at the next line. So we've got right middle 3, index 1. So we're doing this again. We're doing this again. So up to the 4, 3, 2, 5, 4. And now we've just added a 3 here, right? So we just created this pattern. Now with the left hand, all we're doing is we're just duplicating what we did up here, right? Right, that's what we're doing with the left hand. Now I don't have a play together symbol there, which I'd put there, but if I did, you'd just play them together, right? And so that's that. Now you might want to go backwards, right? Ooh, how do you go backwards? Well, you could go. Let's see what I've done here. I think I might have gone backwards here. So let's have a look at this one. So we got right middle 3, right ring to 4, and pinky 5. Oh, so we're going this way. So before we started, we went. Now we're going back. So that's what this pattern is. This is just the reverse of that, right? Now you can work that out yourself, but. Now, the idea of these is to get some mobility moving basically with your left hand, which is most important. So you can start adding some more interesting bass lines with your songs. So we want to develop our fingers to do patterns that they'll go in our subconscious and hopefully they'll come out when you're playing, different types of patterns. So that's what these exercises will do. They'll get your fingers moving. Right? No timing here. You add your own melodic timing the way you feel. You could play it different ways. It's up to you. So let's just have a look at this one. So that means play the chord. That means play this line and the next line together. So you play that line and that together. So if we know the left line's just playing the chord, 1, 3, 5, right? The right line's just playing the melody, right? 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 5, 4. So you're just doing this. So that's all that doing. But what we're doing here, we're reversing it now. We're playing them right, and now we're going with the left hand. So 3, ring 1, 3. So 3, index 2, 5, 5, 4, 3. Yeah, so that's there. 5, then we reverse, go down like that. So that's it on that. So let's have a look here. This symbol here, here's another one, a symbol. So that just means go up and come down, right? So we didn't actually need this. I should have removed that, right? We don't need that because this is telling you what to do. So if you look here, you're going right thumb on 1, index 2, middle 3, 4, 5. We're just doing that. Simple, right? So, and this symbol here just means come back, watch it. So you look at your hands going up and you're just coming back straight down like that, right? So I didn't need 4, 3, 2. I'll get rid of that. And that just means play them both together. So this is doing the same. So we're just doing them together. Pretty basic, right? So I'm just getting you, but it's just getting your fingers moving, and I'm showing you these different symbols that are coming. So D minor over the chord, we'll just play the chord with the right hand this time. So we're in a Dorian now. We're in a Dorian, right? So that should be a minor third. So that's another thing I have to fix up, right? Right, minor third, 1, minor 3, 5. And the left hand is left pinky on that 2. So I'll fix this up. That should be D minor, right? So, right, so I'll fix that up because this exercise is on Dorian, right? If I wanted C there, I would have put a C Ionian as the second line here, over here, but I didn't. So that's just an error, and I'll fix that. So, all right, so that's it. And we've got some questions here. If you go to my Google Classrooms, I'll throw some questions there as well. You can join Google Classroom for free. So there's a link on my YouTube channel links and also my webpage up here. So join it for free, and you can just do exercises and assignments, and I set assignments. So I just started that the other day, but that might be useful. And I've got a couple of assignments I just post here, and you can just do them. I don't have any students at the moment. I've just put it in. But if you want to join Google Classroom and start doing exercises and start learning piano, I'll interact with you too here. I'm not charging you anything at the moment. Maybe I will down the track once I get more students. But so at the moment, that's Google Classroom. Anyway, let's finish from that. And thanks for showing up, and I'll catch you next time. Okay, bye.